Good day, everyone, especially to you, sir. I'm Classic James Milcher from Bachelor of Technical Vocational Teacher Education, major in Food and Service Management. So for today's video, I will tackle about the job application process. So let's proceed. So in this section covers documents and guidelines specific to one area of workplace communication, the job application process. First, the two main professional documents are discussed in detail. Then, guidelines and tips for taking part in a job interview are outlined. Finally, preparations required for the mock interview provided. And here are the step-by-step guide to the job application process. So, the first one is get your resume ready. In addition to a job application, most companies require a candidate to submit a resume and a cover letter. You must ensure that your resume is polished, up-to-date, and well-organized before you submit it with a job application. Second one is write a cover letter. A cover letter generally explains the relevance of your experience and skills for a particular job. It is often an essential requirement in the application process. And the third one is submit your job application. You can apply for a post in person, via email, or online. Companies will always give directions on how to apply for their vacancies, so keep the specific company guidelines in mind when filling out the application. The fourth one is screening of job application. Once applications are closed, employers often use applicant tracking software to recruit, screen, track, hire, and manage applicants. They do this to determine which candidate is ideal for the open position. The fifth one is employment test. Many organizations tend to use selection procedures such as pre-employment test to screen applicants. The selection procedures and tests often include background checks, credit checks, medical examinations, personality tests, cognitive tests, and talent assessment tests. The sixth one is the process of interview. Upon being shortlisted for an interview, you may receive an invitation to talk to the employer, hiring manager, or recruiter in person or on the phone, or both. Bear in mind that the company may conduct numerous interviews before it eventually offers the leading candidate the job. The seventh one is hiring process. You will have to undergo a series of steps as you progress through the hiring process. The process normally begins when you submit your application and ends when you accept the job offer. It would be best if you familiarize yourself with each step in the hiring process. And the eighth one is job offer. You are close to the end of the hiring process when you receive a job offer. Once you receive the offer, you should not hastily accept the job. And the last one is new hire paperwork. Now that you have taken the offer, complete the new hire paperwork as soon as possible to enable you to get on the payroll. These documents may include eligibility for company-specific paperwork, tax withholding forms, and work forms. Cover letter and resume. A cover letter is a letter you write to a prospective employer to persuade him/her to give you a job. It literally covers or goes on top of the applicant's resume. So, the goal of a cover letter is to convince employers that you are interested in and qualified for a job. Your cover letter is also a great place to provide additional details about your work history, skills, or life situation to a prospective employer. Job interview. If the employer or hiring personnel like the overall picture presented by a cover letter and resume, they will want a closer picture. They will then ask the applicant to come in for a job interview. Job interviews can vary from structured or formal with a set of specific questions to unstructured with more freewheeling conversation. So here are the several other types of interviews. Traditional one-on-one interview. The candidates interviewed by one person. So, one-on-one interviews or traditional interviews take place in person and involve a conversation between one interviewer and one candidate. They are a chance for the interviewer to ask about your experience and skills and to evaluate how well you might fit in at the company. Like for example questions. How do you hold yourself and others accountable to stated goals and deliverables? Or how do you organize your daily or weekly priorities? The second one is the panel interview. The candidates is interviewed by a group or panel. Typically, you will be in a room with several people who work at the company. These interviewers make up the panel. In some cases, the panel will ask questions to multiple candidates at the same time. Like, for example, questions. Why do you want to work for us? And why should we hire you? Or do you have any questions for us? Like something like that. And the third one is the group interview. The candidates is interviewed along with fellow candidates. So, group interview activities can involve job-related projects or role-playing. For example, you could give candidates a Lego project and ask them to build a tower with as few bricks as possible. The fourth one is the stress interview. The candidates is asked a series of difficult and intimidating questions to see how she handles stress. So, stress interview is a tactic used to put candidates under extreme pressure. They are designed to test your ability to think on your feet, respond appropriately in difficult situations, and stay calm in a pressurized environment. When using the stress interview technique, employers are looking to see how you would handle things like workplace conflict, abusive customers, and work overload. They are intentionally provoking you to assess your psychological and physical responses to stressful situations. Before the interview, have the right mindset. Remember that the primary goal of the interviewer is to learn whether you have the skills, training, and experience. So, the most important before an interview is to research the company and its background beforehand. Search for information online, find out who will be interviewing you, and review the job description in detail so you understand it inside out. It's also worth researching news or activities relating to the specific industry as this shows interest. And lastly to my report is the map interview rubric. That's all for my today's topic. God bless.